You think you know Hiroshima. A bomb, a city, a war that ended. You don't know Hiroshima. August 6th, 1945, 8:15 in the morning. The temperature at the center reaches 4,000 degrees Celsius. People sitting on stone steps don't burn. They don't scream. They simply cease to exist. What remains is their shadow, burned permanently into the stone. A dark outline where a human being was standing 1 second before. This is the story they spent decades making sure you never heard. 20 minutes after the blast, it starts to rain. Not water, black rain. Thick, sticky, radioactive sludge. The ash of vaporized buildings, vaporized earth, vaporized people, condensed and falling from the sky. Survivors, burned beyond recognition, driven mad by thirst, opened their mouths to drink it. They had no idea they were swallowing radiation. The ones still walking were called the ant-walking alligators. Their skin melted, hanging from their bodies in strips. Their eyes gone, moving in silence. Nobody screaming. Just hundreds of figures shuffling through a city that no longer existed. Here's what nobody tells you. Two governments saw what happened, and both decided you shouldn't know. The Japanese military sealed the city, not to help survivors, to salvage equipment. State media were forbidden from using the words atomic or nuclear, just a new type of bomb. The Americans moved faster. General MacArthur's occupation government banned all reporting on radiation sickness. Japanese doctors documenting the dying, their research confiscated, their findings locked away. A journalist snuck into Nagasaki and wrote 25,000 words about people dying from a disease nobody had a name for yet. MacArthur's censors buried every word. Those dispatches stayed hidden for 60 years. The survivors had a name, Hibakusha, explosion-affected people. In 1947, America sent a commission to study them, not to treat them, to study them. They brought survivors in, measured their scars, took their blood, photographed them, sent them home. Zero treatment, zero medicine, pure observation. The survivors called it what it was. They were being used as laboratory animals by the country that bombed them. Back in Japanese society, it was worse. People believed radiation was contagious. Hibakusha were fired from jobs. Families hired investigators to make sure their children didn't marry someone with atomic blood. They survived the bomb, then spent the rest of their lives being punished for it. 3 days later, the second bomb. But here's what nobody tells you about Nagasaki. It was never the target. The primary target was Kokura. But Kokura was cloudy. The crew circled 3 times, couldn't see the city. Diverted to the secondary target. Nagasaki was destroyed because of the weather. What the crew didn't know, they were flying toward the heart of Japanese Catholicism. The Urakami Cathedral, the largest Christian church in all of East Asia, was holding mass when the bomb detonated above it. The priests, the parishioners, 8,500 Catholics, a community that survived centuries of persecution, gone in a second. And somewhere below, survivors from Hiroshima who had fled the burning city and boarded trains to Nagasaki, bombed twice in 3 days. History had other plans. But the bomb didn't just kill the living. It reached into the future. Pregnant women who survived the blast gave birth in the months that followed. Some of their children were born with microcephaly, abnormally small heads, severe brain damage, unable to speak, unable to care for themselves. Both governments knew. Neither spoke about it publicly. Families hid these children away, ashamed, confused, told by doctors that this was a private matter, not a medical emergency, not a war crime, a private matter. These children had no name in the official record, no compensation, no acknowledgement. They were the bomb's longest secret, born into a silence that lasted decades.
In September 1945, 1 month after the bombs, an American journalist snuck into Nagasaki. His name was George Weller. What he found, he called Disease X. People who had survived the blast, no visible burns, no visible wounds, dying anyway. Hair falling out, bleeding from their gums, internal organs shutting down for no reason doctors could explain. He wrote 25,000 words, dispatches sent to his editor describing in precise detail what radiation poisoning looks like from the inside. MacArthur's censors intercepted every word, locked it away. Weller never knew if anyone had read it. His son found the carbon copies in 2005, 60 years later. The world finally read what George Weller tried to tell it in 1945.
The last surviving Hibakusha are in their 90s now. For decades, they were told to stay silent. Don't talk about the bomb. Don't make people uncomfortable. Don't remind the world what was done to you. Some of them never spoke publicly until they were 80 years old. The shadows on the steps, they're still there. In Hiroshima. You can go see them today. The permanent outline of a human being who had no idea it was the last second of their life. 2 governments, 2 bombs, decades of silence, and a city full of shadows that refused to disappear. This is the story they hoped you'd never find. Now you know.